Abortions. The right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness begins with life. Don't you agree? Hello, my name is Chris, and I will be presenting the project on banning abortions with the exception of medical reasons. This is relevant to you all because sometimes we do things without thinking of the greater cause. My credibility comes from the news websites and the prior courses that I have taken throughout my life, like life science and government. I will be presenting the problems on abortions being legal, then slowly having a state and federal ban as a solution. And the action would be to vote for pro-life candidates so that they could propose a bill and pass on it. Let me tell you a little bit about the problem on abortions being legal. Sometimes women don't usually get it for a necessity reason, just for necessity. They usually get it for physical appearances, that they don't want any stretch marks. They don't want to get fat. They don't want to feel the pain, And this comes from the source Head 2020. There are many problems that we encounter when we allow abortions to be illegal. In a survey, women had regrets in killing their children for unsure reasons. So basically, scientists conducted a survey for women who got an abortion, and basically half or majority of them had regrets. And this comes from the source Kazan 2019. Women are also protected by the 13th and 14th Amendment, which allows them to do whatever they want. So if they want abortion, go ahead, get it. This comes from the Head 2020. Women also that got abortions had a lot of regrets and had a lot of remorse and basically had psychological problems that they had to endure for 5 years. And this comes from the source Anderson 2017. Also, not just only psychological effects takes place, there's also health effects. Like if you were to get pregnant again, and again, and if you had an abortion, the likelihood of you getting a miscarriage would be really high. Also, placenta previa would be the internal bleeding of the uterus, which even though you had the abortion, you would still bleed. And you would have a much higher risk in getting breast cancer. And this comes from the same source, Anderson 2017. Now, let me give you a solution. We can have federal and state ban on abortions, but first we would have to have little restrictions here and there to slowly keep the reach out of abortions to the public, making it slowly become illegal. This comes from the source Anderson 2017. The federals have been making it a rigorous process by women getting abortions. So basically, they would have to wait longer wait times, no walk-ins, and condensed facilities. And basically, they would have, now they're starting to have, each and every state only have one facility that conducts abortions. And this comes from the source Brown 2014. The Hyde Amendment is basically if a person doesn't have money, no income at all, if the facility needs money, the government's gonna step on the brake, say, you know what, we are not funding for this. We are not doing anything with this. See how you do it. That comes from Planned Parenthood. Now, from that restriction also comes another restriction, which basically makes the facility say, you know what, facility and both in health insurance say, you know what, we're going to put an extreme restriction on these people. If you don't show us why you're getting, if there's no medical reason why you're getting this abortion, we are not going to pay for it at all. Well, maybe sometimes they pay 25%, but 75% would go to the person. And this comes from the source, Anderson 2017. By making these little restrictions here and there, it will become illegal. It comes from the source, Brown 2014. Now, I know women say, it's my body, I could do whatever I want, but both women and unborn child, well, if the unborn child is 14 through 16 weeks already, that would be considered killing. So most cases, people would be in treason with that, Now let's visualize. With my solution, by you letting that child live, the possibilities are endless. You know, they could be the next person to find the cure for cancer, or you could just in general, it's something humane that we want to give life. We want to see our own people grow, you know? Now, without my solution, the killing of innocent lives would be horrible, you know? People would just be getting abortions for whatever reasons they want, like physical appearance, like I said, stretch marks, you know? And as we can see in the picture, they're literally making fun of a little fetus that was barely forming. Now, let me propose an action. If we were to vote for pro-life candidates, they could propose a bill and pass on it. Now, we can form a group to vote for pro-life candidates and go ahead and go to this website. You could discover facts, take action, help pro-life candidates, like I said, be elected so they could propose a bill and pass on it. Now, let me just do a wrap up. I have presented the problem with abortions being legal, slowly having the federal and state abortions as a solution. No, I'm sorry, having a state and federal ban on abortions as a solution, and as a action, have pro-life candidates be elected so that they could propose a bill and pass on it. To recap, the problem about abortions being legal is that women would be able to get an abortion for whatever reason without even a medical reason. So if you guys didn't know, basically 7% throughout the whole United States, women just get an abortion for only rape or medical reasons. So the other 94%, they're just getting it for unnecessary reasons. And the solution is to get the federal and state to make it difficult, to make it a rigorous process, and doing it by us doing that, it slowly pushes abortions to be illegal. The action would be to be voting for pro-life candidates so that they could be elected to propose a law and pass on it. The right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness begins with life. Don't you agree? So basically, I want to end it by saying, I know that I'm not a woman, and I know what I maybe not, I wouldn't feel, but on an emotional level, I could feel what you feel. I've had so many experiences with women, and yes, and these are my references. Thank you, class.